Hi, everyone. My name is Heidi. I'm the co-founder of Finuprise. And along with my team, we help retail investors put their money where their mouths are by providing impact information on publicly traded stocks. So the climate change is one of the greatest problems of our time, and the human activity is just only adding to this crisis. So companies have been responsible through inefficient waste and energy use, pollution, and poor natural resource allocation. And we've seen that millennials and Gen Z investors no longer want to be a part of this narrative anymore. So companies these people are really frustrated that companies have traditionally made profits off of harming the planet and people. And this new generation of investors have said they want to know exactly where their investments are going now. And so we've found that millennials and Gen Z retail investors are currently spending an average of 2,000 euros each month in new investments, but over 80% of this group is frustrated by the lack of knowledge of the social impacts. We've seen that also during the COVID-19 crisis, like many investors, my co-founder Guy and I were also very frustrated by this problem. So we were trying to put our money behind our words. But in order to do so, we had to sign up to very convoluted trading platforms or sign up on banks where the trading fees were very, very hard to find. And the biggest problem for us was that ESG information was just really, really frustrating and not transparent. So Finuprise is the investment platform for ordinary people to create and track their investments and also build a better future through their money. We provide impact information through 11 different impact areas, calling attention to gender representation on boards, pay parity, clean water, circularity, carbon neutrality, and so on. And in this way, we enable an impact-conscious investors to indirectly transform society through their investments. Our community of Finuprises follow each other's impact investments, and they can also vote up and vote down company impact profiles like you see in the middle. And they're also able to engage in community discussions. And one thing about our product is that it's really based on a strong foundation of user research. And so right after we launched our website, we very quickly had 50 beta users sign up and volunteer their time. And during these product testing sessions, we asked them questions about their salary, their investment habits, and some features that were important to them, and also put the product in their head so that we could shadow how they were using it. And so, for example, we had users saying that they wanted to boycott Facebook, but they found that for BlackRock and their circularity fund, they saw that Facebook was in the top 3 holdings. So we knew exactly where our competitors were failing and where we could do better. We currently have 300 investors who have downloaded the closed beta product of Finuprise, and they come from over 80 countries. And this was a 60% conversion of our waiting list at that time. And we also saw that out of this 300 investors, 60% was returning on a bi-weekly basis. We also, just going back to the traction, we also currently have around 750 people on our wait list now. And since we started actively pushing for growth earlier this month, we saw an average of 8% weekly growth. We've also secured some unique backbone traction. So we've signed an MGA with our brokerage partner that will be the custodian holders and execute the trades while it still looks like it's coming from our platform. We've also finalized our sustainability data provider. So all of the impact data is integrated and showing on our platform right now. And we've also retained some Fintech expert lawyers who are helping us with the investment firm license. So this is the exact product roadmap. We are currently at stage number 2. So right now we're rolling out the second version of our product to early beta testers. And we will also be live with trading in Q4 of next year. And here I also want to emphasize that it hasn't been a long time that we've been on market. And so some of our competitors have been on the market for a lot longer than us, but we have moved quickly to push out 2 products on the market. And also we've done this at a much cheaper and faster pace than our competitors. This is the revenue model that our users also helped us come up with. And so 43% of our user group said they want to still pay commissions on it, while 30% said they prefer a monthly subscription plan. The 2.2 billion euros that you see on the screen is how much impact-driven millennial and Gen Z investors will spend on fees and subscriptions on investment products. This is also growing at 30%. And so this, just to reiterate, this is a very, very targeted group of our target group. So the age, the focus, the investment habits, these are all very highly relevant and growing at a very, very rapid pace. And we've also seen that with EU taxonomy laws already coming into regulation, that the time for ESG data is now. This is the full-time fintech professional team behind it. We also have a very strong focus on climate action and sustainability. So within the core team, we have our CTO, Goiko, who has built mobile fintech apps before. He was chief AI officer and led 60 developers and engineers in his last role. And then my co-founder, Gaia, she's also on the call today. She is a marketing ninja and she's worked at startups for the last 6 years. She was in charge of international expansion and also has built membership-based communities that were profitable in the past. As for myself, I worked in investment banking before Finuprise. I was in New York and San Francisco advising some fintech clients on transaction sizes of over $5 billion. We have currently raised 150,000 euros to date. In June this year, we closed our institutional VC investor Antler, and we also have money from a Danish innovation fund. And so right now we're looking for some angels and funds that are focused on climate tech and green tech to help and join this journey. And with everyone's help, we are very confident that we can close the gap between everyday impact investors and the stock market. Money talks, so let's be loud.
Thank you so much, Heidi. So just off the back of that, while we're waiting for some questions to come through, there have been a wave of consumer apps focusing on both impact and democratization of trading. So how does Finuprise stand out from its peers is the first question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have this slide just to illustrate some different groups of competitors that our users have said they're using. At the same time, a lot of these competitors are focused on just portfolios. And so like our user said, if they want to boycott Facebook, it's really hard for them to do so, even if they say it's sustainable. There is unfortunately a lot of greenwashing still happening in the market. And one other thing that I keep on pointing to is the fact that in this game where it's not that it's a new market and it's not that you have to educate users, it purely is based on an execution case. And so with our track record of being able to move quickly with our product and hiring the team and all of the points that we've executed upon very quickly, we are confident that we're going to be continuing to do so in the future.
Great, thanks so much. I think you've got a nice compliment from the audience on your tagline. One more question from me is, could you give a little bit more, could you talk a little bit more to the product so that you can give the audience a better understanding of how it works, how they interact with it, and some of those kind of differentiating features that help you stand out?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And so with the product, it's really focused with the consumer in mind. So everything has been designed after a lot of focus groups and putting the product in their hand and seeing what works and doesn't work. And our community they were the ones who told us which impact playlists were important to them. And so we know that carbon neutrality and circularity were one of the top rated playlists. And then they were followed by like clean energy, clean water. So we knew exactly that the information that we're showing users is again very helpful for them to make their investment decisions. And then what our users like to see is to have one easy score that will then be compared against the industry benchmark average, so that it's not just a number on a screen, but it's more they can place it and compare it against other companies to know if it's a positive, negative, or net neutral impact.